Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
All around the world, farmers know farming is an art. Like life, we know it can be hard. And it can be surprising, too. But sometimes it's about being at the right place at the right time. A wise man once said that the best lessons are learned under the wide open sky. I think the same thing can be said about our art. Yeah, it can be messy, but it's always beautiful. So beautiful it can help you see yourself and the world in all new ways. In the art of farming, the soil is the canvas, the seeds are the paint, and the harvest is the masterpiece.
Hello everyone, it's Ben back from Nerd Kicks. I'm going to get back into the recording again. I'm back on Farming Simulator 25 to start with. I've joined a new community called Farm Simulator Network. It's a bit of a fun one to get into, a little bit of a wait. Need to be a bit active, but it's made the enjoyment of Farming Simulator come back. I'll run over what it is in a second. This is the first video in a few that will come. I'm going to be tweaking settings, some of the displays a bit weird, but it's fun, it gives me purpose, I quite enjoy it. And the Farming Simulator has been quite fun as well. So yeah, the reason I got back into Farming Sim was it's a bit of escapism. I quite enjoy it. It's nice just to get your head in something, not to worry about anything else, and I'm sure, like most gamers out there, it's part of the same thing. So yeah, a bit on Farm Simulator Network. What it is an external website which has been developed by a guy called Hans. They've got a lot of helpers and a big community, big Discord server, but most importantly it gives a little bit of a routine and a little bit more extra management outside of the game itself. Now, I know I can do everything in game, but I quite enjoy having that extra challenge outside just to work towards something. So you can go ahead and sign up at farmsimulator.network. There's a little bit of a joining process where you jump on their Discord, they ask you a few questions, you just interact with the community to start, and then it's a bit of a cherry pick for them, and I can understand why. You know, it costs money to run this for them. They provide the servers and they do take donations, which is great once you get into it a bit more, but there's a lot of work that does seem to go behind the scenes with this stuff, and allow, I think, the immersion to up its game a little bit. It's not a get rich quick scheme in game. You know, you have to work hard, you have to put the time and money and hours in. I quite like that. It makes it a little bit more fun. But yeah, just to show you what it looks like. So their website is extremely detailed. So, you know, you farmsimulator.network, you can Google it or go straight to the website. And it offers you all types of different areas that can increase the gameplay, really, which is what really I was looking for. So you start with a balance of 0 and you basically become a contractor on other people's farms or NPC farms, or there's jobs that you can do, you can collect and then basically do them, come back to here, click the button and get rewarded for it, and your bankroll increases, your money starts to increase until you get to a point where you think you've got enough money to start your own farm, and then you can start to buy plots on the system, which then get allocated to you in game as well. So Highly recommend going to check it out. Part of this series is kind of using their platform as well, just to kind of give it a little bit of a routine, a bit of purpose, and see how badly I can mess this up. I picked up a contract a couple of days ago, and it was the boss hands, and I kind of accidentally forgot to. I was slurry in one of his farms, and I forgot to turn on a double slurry, and a nice strip of it I missed. But again, he sent me a message, said, "Could I double it?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Brilliant work." It's quite nice. You get a lot of help and feedback from other players as well. You know, I'm relatively new to this. I'm only 10-15% in, and there's a lot still to learn. So what we're going to do, once you're logged into the website, you know, I won't go into too much detail here. It's constantly moving, constantly evolving, but there's a contracts screen you can go into, and you get all these different things. There's stuff being added to this every single month. The developers behind the scenes are very active, and I really like that as well. So you have NPC work, you can see here. You have player work, so players in game that have their own farms that have gone up that ladder, they can offer out work as well, so you can pick that up and get rewarded for it to go into your own bankroll. You can do audits, so there are things. It's a clever little mechanic in the game, I think, to keep the game fair, you know, to stop people cheating or trying to manipulate the stats. There are occasionally audit works that come out. You have to go in, audit a person's farm equipment with their time they've used it, and their bankroll, just to keep the system up to date. And there's some other bits coming as well. I mean, exports and surveys are new, and there's a lot of stuff around the outside with the animal side of things, which the equestrian side, sheep and stuff like that, and horses. So there's other things you can do apart from farming as well, which contribute to a wider scale. And I believe the team have just released what they've called the Farming Simulator Network Olympics, which is another fun thing to do on the side. It's a bit of a team play. I've not gone into it this time because I think I'm a bit too new, but yeah. So today, just to kind of test my rig and make sure my streaming setup's working and things like that, I'm just going to quickly do an NPC work contract. So the NPCs are really kind of give people something to do if player work isn't there. You know, people play this a lot, and I think every time the community grows, the contracts are going to come in and go pretty quickly, so they can rotate very fast, which is good. You know, I think that is quite a good thing anyway. Keeps the system going. But also you got the NPC stuff. So don't know how they do it. I'm guessing it's automatic somewhere. There are fields that are in game. You know, the servers that they're renting, and they are constantly evolving, and they don't shut off. So you do have to keep on top of it. But there's always something to do around here. So I was having a quick look around a minute ago. There was a very small piece of plow work. Here we go, on this server here. So server 13. It gives you a little bit of a description of what you do, how much you'll get paid for it, a rough idea how long the system would think it would take. Now again, they kind of give you that to when you take the job, start it and finish it. I guess there's some sort of math behind it to say if you're cheating or not using the equipment or doing something to, you know, circumnavigate the system. So makes it a little bit fair for everyone, makes it a bit more realistic, and I quite like that. So as you can see here, you are to conduct plow work on 13. The contract vehicle point, every farm in there is a FSN contracting farm, which you then join to get access to the vehicles. You go and pick them up, you do the work on the field. Once it's done, you take their equipment back to where it was, and you repair and refuel it. And sometimes, if it's that dirty, give it a clean down for the next person to use it. Make sure the engine's switched off. So keeps it rotating. So what we do is that we take the job, and that assigns a job to us. Everything's contained, how you access the server inside of here as well, which is quite good. So you just kind of follow it, what you're doing here. Yeah, so we'll jump in game. We'll do what we need to do. Complete the work, and then we'll come back and finish the job, and I'll get a nice pot of money, which then I throw into a banking system, because they've got banks. You know, some of the users can start their own banks, and they give you lines of credit, loans, which you can take out. So when you get to starting your own farm, but at the minute, just a contractor. You know, I'm just going in, and it's really good because it gets you familiar with the game again. You know, doing things right. You know, the thing I've recently started to use is the GPS system, which is an absolute it's a godsend in the game. Helps you go through it. So yeah, let's crack on in game, and we'll get going. So yeah, just before I jump in to show you, you obviously can filter the games down, and you'll see the amount of servers that the community has. There's a lot here to jump in, and they're always being restarted and upgraded to make sure they're as efficient as possible. And there's a lot of different maps. So yeah, you'll jump into the server that you've been assigned. So in this case, I'm on 13. Now, the team at Farm Sim Network, they provide a huge big pack of mods to download. It's come with it. There is a bit of a catch to it. If you don't read that, there's a huge wiki in there, so you can have a look around that. But in there, all the mods are in. You don't update them in game because it can mess with some of the way the structure is and some bugs and stuff. So you download them, and they've also got the maps in game as well. You'll soon know if you're missing some of the mods. You go to join a server, which some of these servers I've not been on yet, and it will come up with the exclamation mark. You'll be able to see the details of what's missing throughout. In this case, I've got most of the mods in, but I just don't have the map. But I'll only put it on when I need it, and I get to that point. So I've been on 13 a few times myself, so I will jump in. Okay, so in game, kind of get our foot in a little bit. It's a little bit jumpy to start with until the server settles down and my connection catches up. So if we go back to the work order, so we have perform a plow on field 180 on this server. And everything would be in the contract vehicle point, which is where all the contracting vehicles sit, and that's where you got to take them back to, just to be safe. Yeah, do the work, come back, and hit the complete button. So that's what we're going to do. So I'd like to have a quick look where we're going to go. So if we go into the map, have a look around. So we got, just to start with, it took me a while to get my head around this, especially if you're new. If you're not, you'll know what you're talking about. If we go to the farmland, obviously we tend to get the filter of the whole farm, which is quite nice. Now, you'll see that members already have their own farms. This is what your goal is to get all the way up to your own farm. But the FSN contractor, which is the stuff that's in pink here, as you can see, there's a lot of fields around, a lot of work that can be done throughout it all. All we tend to got to find is the field where all those tractors sit, which usually it's in the middle, somewhere around the middle here. So everything that's in pink is part of the FSN contractor. So we can go here, so we can quickly teleport over. See if we've got anyone else on with us at the minute. You'll soon see them moving around if not. Yeah, there's a few people over, so we've got some members in game as well, which is quite nice. It's always nice to have people in game, I think, just to have a bit of a chat as well. Quite enjoy that. But yeah, we're looking for something with a plow on it. So we've got, if we go over here and we visit, just make sure that comes off. We can do the old teleport, which is still quite nice. I think it's nice to keep that on, especially when you're a contractor. You don't have your own vehicles at the minute to get around the maps quick enough. I think getting some, you still can't teleport with the equipment. You still got to drive that around, but you as a person can jump around. So I'll go over to where I think the contracting vehicles are. So we're going to have a quick look, see if we can find something. Looks like around the back here. Yeah, we've got a few vehicles here to play with. So just check. Oh, this one is messy. Someone's not been cleaning. But we can have a quick look. So on the back here we've got, this is a cedar by the looks of it. So have a quick look around for a plow. I mean, a lot of the equipment will be dotted around the outside, so they might not be attached. Obviously players may jump in and jump out and try and leave things in a good way. So I'd like to see if there's one already attached. It doesn't look like we've got anything. Oh, okay, we've got this one here, which is outside. It's already got the plow, so I may jump into that one. So okay, we're going to have a quick look if I can find my way out of the farm to get to it. Can't go over the gates. That's great, isn't it? It's really around the outside. Okay. I could take that one and attach that plow, but if there's one already there, it's not worth the effort. I'll go and grab this one. So, part of the permission system, to jump in and out the vehicles, you just join the farm itself. In this case, it will be the FSN contracting, so you can then jump in the vehicle and start to use it. So let's just go over to here. We've got the plough already attached on the back. So if we go into the menu, go to FSN Contractor and just join the farm. That gives you the permissions to jump in, so you can then get in. On the bottom right, as we can see, fully fueled, and the repairs are fully good, which is what you're really supposed to leave them in, you know, for the niceties for the next contractor to come in and pick it up, so they don't have to worry about it. So we're in what we got. We've got a plough attached to the back, because that's what we need to be off and doing. So let's see where we're going. So we're going to field 180. So let's have a look at the map. We are here, and everything's numbered. You just got to find it. So it'll be the one. It'll be somewhere in pink. Usually it's always the furthest away from where I want to be. 188. 170. Come on. 150. Can't be that far out. Struggling with counting here. It's not good, is it? 171. 200. 160. 150. Okay, I can't seem to find it. $185, 187, 186, 188. Well, I can't seem to find 100 field 180. Is it randomly dotted? Ah, there it is, bang in the middle. So it took me a while, and I will be editing that. We can tag the place so we know where to go. So we're not too far. So we're here. We're going to come out. We'll come down the moat. We try and stick to the roads and obviously not go over all the fields. There's a few people here. We'll come out, go down this primary road here, and we'll pick up the main road and jump into this field down here. Without, obviously, there's someone on the move down here. So back to where we are. Start the engine. And off we go. Just make sure I know where I'm going. Out to the left, pick up the main road. Okay. You know, so the rule of thumb really is to just be mindful of the farms, use the roads where appropriate, just try and keep it as clean as you can. To the end of the road. Try and open this up a bit more. You can see where we're going. End of this road, and we're going to hang a left. Just keep an eye out for the traffic because it can cause damage if we go around. I'm not sure if we can enter the field off the road, so go and have a quick look. Okay, we can see our field over there. Definitely needs a plough by the looks of it. Let's see if we can get into the field across here somehow. Huge big ditch there, so how do we get in? There we go, this looks like an entry point. In we go. And this is what we need to do. This is our field we're going to be ploughing. So I've started to learn how to use the GPS on this and the cruise control. It's very good. It does need a little bit of work, and you know, it still needs it on the corners and the outsides. It just needs a little bit of manual work just to start and stop it off. So just a very quick overview. I mean, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there how to do it, but to activate the lines, you press H, and so anything that's in orange is the lines that are predefined by the system. You can adjust these in the settings, but I've also already found that the auto picks it up pretty well. There's been the odd occasion where the lines just aren't right. I think when you're doing things like baling and, you know, grass cutting and stuff like that, it's a little bit off, but the idea is that it will give you probably the most efficient way to do the whole field around the outside. If you hold down the H button, you'll get the steer and assist menu. So so farmsimulator.network doesn't allow the use of AI for obviously for realism purposes, but steer and assist, yes. As far as I'm aware, it looks all to be good from the contracting state. Some places have it turned on, some servers do, some servers don't. But you can change the width, you know, so the working width can be changed throughout, depending on obviously what you're doing in the background. So usually these will be preset on the field if you're doing plough work, because the ploughs are set to a certain width. How many headlands you want to do before you start to go in the middle. Some people like to bring these out, so you can bring these down. And it will readjust it, so you just go around twice, and then you'll do longer shorts on the inside to try and help you out there. So I might just do the 2 around the outside actually, because it just make it a little bit more. Actually, let's go for 3, and we'll bump that up to 3. Work direction, so you can change it depending on what you want to do. I said 9 times out of 10 I don't tend to find this has much of a problem. The system usually picks it up. You can offset the sides as well, so some of the plows you'll do it to the left or right of the tractor itself, so you can offset that to make the lines. I always have my lines on, it just makes it easier. I mean, the realism, if you want them off, great, and you'll have to use the in-cab stuff, but it's so much easier with them on, especially if you're getting used to it. And the cruise control deactivation is really helpful to save it ploughing off into other fields. And when it gets to the end of a line, it will stop, so then you can obviously readjust to the next line, go back and forward. Now, it works both ways with this, so as soon as you activate a line, so you press H and it will go green, when you start to manually move forward, the tractor will line up with it. But it can get confused sometimes depending on how far you're off the line. So sometimes you've got to make sure that line stays green while you're moving forward and backwards. The best thing to do is I try to line up as best as I can towards one of the ends and start to reverse in a straight line to ensure I get the maximum corners. Everyone's got their trial and error of how to do this. You know, I'm trying to find my way of doing it. But I said the hard bit, you've just got to make sure that line stays green. Because if it goes and veers off too much, as soon as you press the H, you'll see that the wheels are starting to line up. But if it's too far off and it doesn't like it, it will drop it. So make sure it's green every time you're moving back and forward. When you reverse, it will go as well. So before you hit that cruise control button, just make sure it's green, like so. Just so it can adjust itself fully and line itself up. And just roll back and forward a few times just to make sure you get it right. So what we'll do one line just here, and then I'll when I get cracking, I'll speed it up in the video, because no one wants to sit here watching for a good hour me doing this whole field. And then we'll come back at the end, and yeah, I'll try and wrap it up, show you how it works in the farm simulator side and the network, in the community, just to get your bucks. I'll show you a little bit more around with the banking, because I'm going to put all the money into the bank. So obviously put it into a bank, you get interest, keep that money rolling, you may as well do something with it. So we'll go from there. So yeah, what we'll do, we've got the steer and assist, I've lined up ready to go. We'll do the, I'm still trying to learn the names of these, the headlands. So I've got 3 headlands here. We'll do 3 headlands around the outside, and then we'll go on the inside. But obviously we've got a bit of land in the middle, which is going to be quite good. I've never had a field with a bit in the middle, so that's going to be quite fun to do as well. So yeah, off we go. Let's lower the plough. Let's bring her down. No, it's not lower. Sorry, we've got to unfold it first. And then we can lower it. So let's try and line up as best as we can with the orange line before we activate it again. Here we go. So we can lower the plough into the ground. Watch that tree behind me. Hit the H to activate the green line and off we go. Start that again. I think I'm too far out. There we go. Green line. Off we go. So it will follow that green line. I am pushing the button manually. I'm pushing W forward at the minute. But the cruise control, so pushing number 3 to sync the cruise, to basically get the cruise control kicked in. Great on the longer pieces, which we'll do on the other side in a minute. But just do it manually for now. So we'll go as far as we can. Now, if this was cruise control, it would be stopping around about now because it's coming towards the end of the green line. But we want to get as much as we can done without distracting any other fields. There we go. So we raise the plough again. I'm sure you know how to do this. Most people will go back and we'll turn onto the next part of the headland. Around we go. Try and line up with that orange line as best as you can. This is why I like to try and take it to the edge. Just try and get those edges in fully. So remember H, green line. Move forward a little bit just to line yourself up. And then if you're feeling good, go for the cruise control. Lower the plough, push 3. Off it will go. Keeping an eye to make sure that that green line is always on. And that's what we do. I'll just do the end of this one and then we'll speed the video up. So you don't get too bored. Maybe with some jaunty music. I have it a few times. Sometimes when the ground is a little bit uneven, the green line, the GPS does deactivate. So you just need to, I mean, a lot of people will maybe push it and walk away, and especially if you've got a really long field. But I have come back to moments where it's just, it's gone nuts, and it's gone on my own test server. It's gone completely across the field, which is what you don't want to do, and you know, affect other people's work. There you go. Didn't touch anything. The cruise control came to the end of the line. As you see, it's not finished the end, but we have got a bit of room off the field, so we can just finish the last bit of the field, raise the plough, and we start all over again. Okay, I'm going to crack on. I will put some jaunty music to it, and at the end of it, when the field's done and everything's good, I'll come back and we'll wrap up this video, and many more going forward. So, see you in a bit. Just a quick one. I thought I'd just raise, it's worth seeing. Again, many people will probably know this, but it's good for newbies like myself. Inside of the map and all the filters, it's good to see, you know, from the filter side of things, what bits have been missed. You know, people pride themselves on getting every single corner. So, depending on what you're doing, if you're planting a crop or you're doing some sort of maintenance, growing, seeding, harvesting, cultivating, or even doing what I'm doing, plough. So you can just put the plough on, and you can see exactly on the map where you've ploughed against what's not been ploughed, which is quite nice. So there will be bits where you do miss. Some of the corners need trimming, and you can use this all the way to the end. So nice little tip there. Okay, slowing it back down again now. Some of the eagle-eyed around you would have noticed that the GPS is not always right. You know, sometimes it misses because of the bit in the middle. We had the little problem at getting round, so sometimes you do just have to go back manually and go through it. So we're just going to go over the last bits that got missed as part of the gauges, and we'll tidy this up and we're done and we'll head back. So we'll get these last bits finished off, and again we quickly check the map. We're pretty much there. Just one last bit over here, and more just for my clarity. Sometimes they just won't pick up on the map, so I like to try and get as much as I can cleaned down to get as much of that yield back as possible. Later on, whoever does this for the contracting side of things. So yeah, we'll finish these up and then head back. And there we go, completely ploughed field, ready to go for the next contract that comes out. I'm not too sure how the system works, if it follows a strict follow through for actual yields, possibly. Again, I think the contracting side of things is more to give farmers the edge just to keep going and start building their own pot up to really get their own farm eventually. I think it's worth noting that, you know, everything you're doing here, that it's a bit, the whole system is based on fairness. So, you know, when you do get your own farm, you still to give contracts out to your own farm, you still have to take contracts, you still have to do them. I think that's a good balance. It allows everyone to contribute to the game, I think, in a rational manner. I do like that, and it keeps it interesting as well. You know, cause there's some stuff on your farm that you may focus on that you then tend to forget the other way of doing it. So yeah, really good. So we're all done here. We've done what it's asked, which was perform plough on the field. All equipment we got, we're going to take it back. We need to take it back refueled and repaired and cleaned, and we'll do that back at the yard where all the other equipment is. So we'll quickly dash back there, fuel up, do all those bits. I'll show you the cleaning, which is actually quite satisfying in itself. There's a lot of dirt on this. I did notice some dirt in the other ones actually. They probably should have been cleaned, but they weren't. Which is a suggestion. I think maybe a nice feedback system would be good. But again, that's what the checks are for sometimes. So yeah, we'll head back and then we'll wrap this one up. So it looks like we've got a gas station pretty much where everything is here, so we can fuel up here. Just need to find where we can repair. I don't know if we can do it at the gas station. I mean, you got the shop. Maybe yeah, there is some time. Yeah, it's usually repair. Okay, we can do both here to make that a little bit easier. So if we we've got to look out for the repair icon. So can we get around there? Let's come out the cab a little bit, shall we? Let's go around the back. So here's fuel. And there's the repair right in front of us. So all we do to refuel, again for the new ones out there, you get as close as you can to the fueling station, and they're usually dotted around the maps anyway. Again, you can't teleport with this once you're in vehicle, so that's, I think, part of the immersion, which is quite good. You'll see on the top right hand corner, you'll see where it says R for refueling. Just hold down R, and you'll see in the bottom right the fuel will just start to creep up slowly and slowly. So again, just for the contracting side of things on farmsimulator.network, it's part of the rule is contracting is leave everything refueled and repaired by the end for the next contractor to come in and use it, save them doing it. So that's all done now. So we can just nip over to here for the repair. So you just need to be in this yellow box on the ground, on the floor, and then you should be able to jump out, turn the engine off first, jump out, go over to here, and you'll be able to open up the vehicle options. See, it turns to an R when you walk up to it. So you push R, and yeah, the repaints are ridiculous, don't worry about them. That might come later on, I'm not too sure, but the condition of both of the items for the tractor and the plough, just repair them down the bottom, so that goes way back up to the top, and repair that as well. So then that's all done. So when we nip back in, you'll see in the bottom right hand corner both gauges are up to the top, which is where we want them. So the last thing is to give it a clean. Now on most of the yards inside the game, you'll find there is a pressure washer somewhere. I like to think it's in an obvious place, but it does get pushed around a fair bit. It could be the case that there is no pressure washer, that's why the others are dirty. That's a valid point actually, because I can't see one. Which, if there's not, then the staff are very good. Just got to put in a ticket in Discord, and you know, they'll probably come in game and whack one down. I did think why the others were a little bit dirty. Let's just go over here and have one just quick look. It is very hidden away sometimes, and it's usually next to the gas, or the fuel, so I can't seem to see it. Okay, what I'll do, I'll take this back out. Actually, no, we'll leave it here. We'll leave it here next to this one, because that's quite logical. Turn the engine off and jump out. See the dirt, hover over the tractor, you'll see where it says dirt 100%, it's just filthy. We want to try and clean that up. We'll just have a quick look around. Sometimes it gets hidden. It may be somewhere else. If not, I'll ask the team to see if we can get the pressure washer put back on the contracting vehicle point. Just have a quick look around here just to be safe. Some people obviously bring it out to their vehicles rather than to the pressure washer itself. Oh, I don't think they're... I mean, these look pretty clean, so someone's been cleaning something somewhere. Maybe it's just disappeared. No, doesn't look like there is one. Okay, so for now, no cleaning. Maybe on the next video you'll get to see that in action. If I take up another contract, I'll let the staff know that there is no pressure washer here to use on the vehicle bay in the contracting side of things. I'm just gonna have one more look just to be safe. Shame really, because I like it. I like cleaning them. Okay. No, definitely not. Okay. So, yeah, from the immersion side of things now, all I'll be doing is going back to the website, logging back in, going to my contract and basically saying pay me now. There's a big button on the bottom of it that says complete this contract. Again, you can try to cheat the system, which highly, please don't, because it makes it a bit annoying for others. You know, there is times on them, so if you try doing it quickly by however you've done it, going back, and they will find out, and you'll get penalised, and sometimes maybe even booted off. You don't want that. Try and make it as immersive as possible. I'm hoping to do a few more of these, picking up some contracts all the way up to the point where I get, I mean, everyone's saying around about 400 to 500,000 in the bankroll to start my own farm, and then buy a plot of land. There's a lot of equestrian stuff, have your own horses on there. So yeah, hopefully the journey's going to be a fun one. They're not going to be consistent. You know, when I get the time, I'll jump on, record. Takes a bit of time to edit, a bit of fun. If you do like it, leave us some subscriptions, some likes, try and boost the channel a little bit. You know, it's all for fun. And I'm sure I'll get some criticism of others, but it's all part of the gig, really. But this has been good fun. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. See you soon.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.